Our top story, Parkland school shooter Nikolas Cruz has been spared the gallows. He has been sentenced to life in prison by a Florida jury for carrying out the massacre at Marjorie Douglas High School, which claimed 17 lives back in 2018. This was one of the deadliest mass slaughters in American history. Cruz pleaded guilty last year to 17 counts of first-degree murder and 17 counts of attempted first-degree murder in connection with the 2018 massacre. 14 students and 3 staff members of the school were killed. The penalty phase trial was to determine if Cruz would be sentenced to death or life in prison for the massacre he committed while he was 19 years of age. The jury could not unanimously agree that he should be executed. Under Florida law, a death sentence requires a unanimous vote on at least one count. The jury's recommendation came after one day of deliberations, ending a 3-month trial that included graphic videos, photos and testimony from the massacre and its aftermath, heart-wrenching testimony from victims' families, and a tour of the still blood-splattered building. Well, so that was a huge tragedy in a school in the United States back in 2018 that left at least 17 people dead, 14 of them children, and this has been described as one of the worst such massacres in the history of the United States. The man who's been found guilty was all of 19 years of age and has now been sentenced to life in prison by a jury in Florida. For more on that story, we're now joined by Susan Tehrani from New York. Susan, this has been described as one of the worst massacres in American history. 17 people, including 14 little children, were brutally killed back in 2018 by this man who was 19 years of age. The jury could not arrive at a unanimous decision, which is why he has been sentenced to life in prison. But is there a sense of disappointment in the US, especially amongst parents, especially amongst the families of the victims who were probably hoping that he would be sentenced to death?
Yeah, absolutely. When that was read, really, America was watching live as the sentencing was read and the jury recommendation to the judge, and you could hear the sigh of some of the family members that were in the courtroom as some cried and some sighed and some held their heads in their hands. This really wasn't the answer that many were hoping for, but it's safe to note that the judge on November 1st, which will ultimately make the decision, has the authority to maybe come out and say that I don't want to take the jury's recommendation and I want to go ahead with the death penalty. That is one possibility. But as for now, yes, the jury has decided to go with life imprisonment without parole, and he has evaded the death penalty, as some of those parents had hoped for years for this individual to face at least some form of justice.
All right. Certainly a big day in that case, but a verdict that has left many people disappointed. We'll have to wait and see if it's at all overturned by the judge. Thank you very much, Susan, for getting us all those details.